have you seen my Instagram today, Willie?
No, I haven't really seen anything today,
Because
as far as the Instagrams are
Yeah,
concerned.
show the picture if you have it.
yeah, I'm doing that right now, and you probably see it in
2 weeks.
something like that. Yeah, whenever YouTube feels like it.
That's right.
I took my Eclipse
Oh,
cover.
yes, I saw the post with the swatches.
Yeah, and
That's
this
the
is
way. Yeah, no, I saw that. So,
so. Yeah, I brought my second Eclipse cover there to get custom done,
the
and
fabric one.
yeah, not the aluminium one. That's kind of pointless.
Do it from the inside.
Yeah, well,
Look up.
even so, I just think it's fun. Like, I neither of you had this color, right? Like, I had, was it Purple Heart?
No.
I've never seen it even. Like I've never seen Purple Heart even in real life, let alone the fact that and I didn't order it for the shape that I got either, which we'll get into in a bit.
So when I looked
I
online,
think it was my dealer's favorite color, I think.
well,
Which one, the orange?
No, the purple one.
yeah. So it's kind of weird because on if you look online on Bang& Olufsen's website, it's not that purple, and it's more like a sort of, I don't know, like a dark bloody red, which I really like on the website. But in real life, it's not purple nor that.
Like Bordeaux wine colored.
Yeah, this is more sort of, I don't know, it more
Like a
sort of edges.
corked Amarone.
It more edges towards brown, I guess.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, I don't feel like replacing it for any of the other colors because all the other colors are a bit, nah, to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So what's the difference in the whites that you have posted on the picture there? The one beside on the right hand side of the yellow, and then the one on the left hand side of the black. Is that a different tone and shade, or is it a different fabric?
It's the same fabric, but it's I had a very hard time getting it because I'm not sure if you can see where my mouse. So the left white one to the right of that is something that would actually look like the bleeding or the Purple Heart that Bang & Olufsen sort of projects on their website.
Yeah.
But the
It's
light,
a very dark color though.
but the light wasn't ideal, and this color is actually lighter, but you can barely see it. But anyway, I played around a bit with the white balance, so you'll see in the video somewhere next week, because probably Monday or Tuesday it should be done.
Okay.
I'll pick it up, and so hopefully by Wednesday I'll have a new video up about this specifically.
Nice.
And
So wait a minute, what color did you go for?
you'll see in the video.
Oh man. Also, because I was just sitting here dreaming about, the white one.
You should totally get a white one.
Yeah, I will, definitely will.
Eric, sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah, though, I don't think it's a problem to get the white one. I'm sure I'll have the permission to do that, but now it's just a question of time when. But
Well, that's exactly it. Well, don't tell me that you don't have one. You got 8 weeks coming off.
yeah, then
You're running out of
still-
excuses.
I still someday want to interview Jeff Martin as well. Have a talk about, I don't know, anything he fancies talking about, even if it's like fountain pens.
Photography. I think photography would be also. He really likes the pictures.
He also very much likes ink pens, like the
Yes.
I don't know if you ever seen that on YouTube, Eric. Have you?
no, I haven't seen his video on that or when he talked about it, but I know there are quite some nerds about this ink pen, and they are quite expensive to go up with, real quality stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
So,
yeah.
at some point I'll figure out a way to word an email to him to make it enticing. I mean,
I guess the art of calligraphy is almost dying. It's a dying art now, right? Not many people really write anymore, if you think about it.
hardly anybody. Yeah.
I just think
I
it's
have a book
status
that I-
symbol to have, the really expensive pen, I think. I mean, you don't often, you sign something, but I don't think you're
Write a
writing
check
novels with
with
it. Yeah.
$100,000 pen.
Yeah.
'Cause I've seen that happen. But well, you know what? I'm a pen sucker too, so I can't really complain about that. I do like I'm a Mont Blanc collector more or less than anything. But yeah, I still do. Like I still take notes, sit down, debrief after a day. When you sit in the bar, have a drink, and just open a book and write things down in it, and people look kind of weird. Like, what are you doing? Like why would you not just put in your phone? I'm like, yeah, because the phones. I don't know. Like there's something about that written that I guess the texture of it, right? It's real. Like it's your notes, it's your handwriting.
Yeah, and
it's not just.
I personally have, if I write it by hand, I actually remember and know it. Versus if I type it.
Study show. That's why I tell my students, to write it down and for hand and not typing it on a computer, because
you'll never remember it as well as you would if you were just to type it.
And that's why I tell them it has something to do with muscle memory or something, so they learn it better, remember it better.
Yeah, and as soon as you're out your day without electricity, if you can't write, you're sort of fucked. By the way, by mistake, we started the show off with a view of your bedroom. So if you want to take us where we left.
My bedroom?
Yes, not Eric's bedroom.
Oh, was it the moment or the shape we're talking about?
The shape.
Yeah, the shape came in. I have it up. I think you might have posted. I don't know if you're pulling up the photos.
Yeah.
Install was absolutely breeze. I was shocked how simple it was to put together. The worst part about the shape is when you think you're done, that's when it begins. Because
the true Beo feel comes.
Well, there's one thing that when you put it together on the computer, right? It looks cool and all this. And then I laid it out on the bed. And I'm like, well, shoot. I'm going to need more tiles. And I did myself in because that's typical B&O. This has been a never-ending battle between a set and a pair, as far as them labeling things properly or their understanding of set and a pair in Denmark, what it is. So you can buy a set of grills that come as a pair, and you can get a set and a damper. The speaker dampers comes also as a set, but they come as a set of two, but they don't tell you that. So I've ordered 2 boxes of dampers, right? Or so I have, for the tiles. So I made it 8. And I unwrapped the boxes. I'm like, oh crap, I have 10, right? Because I got 2 extra dampers now. So now I incorporated those into the design, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, I need 2 more.
But is that then one order, or do you have to order 2 boxes again?
No, I ordered 1 box now, and I ordered 2 boxes, 2 different boxes of with a pair of each covers. I got the Brazilian clay. And I got 2 actually. I got another set of Quadrat, and I got another set of the brown Quadrat and the green moss Quadrat. Which, to touch base on these, I don't know if it'll be easy to see, but I guess you can. See the grain of it?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
And
apparently, it's meant to be. Okay, well, notice this. I'm going to hold those tiles exactly the same way. You see how the grain goes basically with this line, right? On the moss green, however...
Yeah, the other way around.
It goes the other way around. So they look kind of...
Is it is that intentionally to get some texture to it?
I don't know. Well, that's why I ordered a couple more just to find out. So then they don't really line up.
How is your OCD managing that?
It's not doing good at all. So here, you see, and it does not jive right at all. So
love the fabric.
I'm wondering. I don't know. Like I'm waiting for the other set to come in, and if the other set is messed up, then I don't know. I'm gonna be really choked, and I'm gonna have to return a set of them or get another set just to have them so at least one of them lines up. So, but the installation of it.
from others that have the Beosound Shape? If others have the same issues, or if this
No, I have
is
not.
intentionally
You know
from
what?
Beo?
Apparently, like, because I showed it to the BNO, and they're like, it's intentional, but I'm hoping that all the moss green quadrat is tiled the same way, right? Because then I don't care, like it looks good. But if you know these are that way and the other ones come in the other's pattern, then it's gonna look really bad. Like it won't have, the continuity is gonna be lost. So this is when I laid it out, and this is now 10 tiles, which I started off at 8, and then I put it up, and that's when I realized that where there's empty spot, there's gonna be 2 more tiles in there. So the actual install was simple as hell, man. Put the first one up, leveled it, and then just clicked from there and go, and you just build this huge frame. I definitely overdone it with screws, but it's on the drywall, and I used very thin ones. I just used regular, I guess, 1-inch screws.
Oh, you decided not to take it on a board, or?
No, I just, you know what, and we'll get to the reason, I guess, why later.
Yeah, if you had big plans with that.
It's too big to move around, and it's big. It's very heavy. And
how much does it weigh with like 8 or 10 tiles?
I don't know, but the plywood itself would be a bitch. That was the biggest problem, because I only have 4 speakers. Now that I have 12 tiles, I thought about maybe I should have gotten 8 or instead of 4. But I think 4 speakers is more than enough for a size of the bedroom that there is. Acoustically, I didn't think that it changed anything with the dampers being installed. Like I guess it's bedroom anyways. It's acoustically almost dead anyhow because of the pillows and mattresses and carpet and all that other shit. So yeah, it was pretty easy to install altogether. And then you just screw I guess you follow the pattern. What I did notice though, doing, I don't know, I guess close to 50 different revisions of my design in tiles, and I've done different layouts and moved them about and whatever. I honestly think that there is a prescribed algorithms that they use based on how many tiles you are burning up and how many speakers you're tossing into them, because I've had that particular shape, I've redone it a couple different times, and the code is the same for that particular speaker set. So,
by the way, I'm on your second picture. Do you know there's a guy outside your window?
Yeah, there's a window cleaner actually there, which was funny. He's looking at me like, what am I doing?
Random weird guy looking in.
Well, yeah, because like, it's one of those, like, you walk into the bedroom and there's a dude out, like, what the all right? Squeeging around like, oh yeah, there you go. The annual window cleaning happens to be when I installed the shape. But yeah, so I started off with that first tile there. Essentially that's the dead center one, but it's positioned exactly so the opening of the second tile would cover up the conduit inlet and the power plugs. And I'm very pleased with how much room they actually left in like those tiles. Man, you can house a whole bunch of shit in there. Like, I actually thought about having them as essentially like a safe. You could definitely use one of those, because nobody would ever think to look into one of these tiles. A, B, you wouldn't even know which one to look at. But if you wanted to put your, like, I guess, uber valuables and whatever, you could definitely throw it in one of those things. Maybe STB should make like a little lockbox for one of those.
Maybe, yeah.
So,
this is probably one of the few things that's not stolen ever, because you cannot get it off the wall in the first place.
You can't get it off the wall, and quite honestly, like, would you even think to rip it off the wall? Like, you wouldn't even, if it wasn't playing music, you wouldn't even know it's a stereo, quite honestly. Yeah. It just looks like a cluster of whatever, right? Cluster of fabric tiles on the wall as art. So, yeah, so then there's the cluster of those 3 now, and they... It's quite easy to level it off and everything. Like, I was very surprised how much play they give you within the leveling of it. If if you miss a little bit, you can still go back, because as the tile grows, it becomes very dynamic and fluid. Like, there is some places that it starts to sag off. But you can definitely, just loosen the screw, because there is, I would say, about 5 millimeters of play on each tile, I guess, in whichever way you want to do it. So that was
Yeah, Christian said he's mounted over 100 tiles and he's yet to see a defective quadrat tile. They all have the switches the same way.
So that's the way they're supposed to. Yeah. So then that's the way they were intended. It just looks weird when you have only two, right, or a pair of each, because then you can't tell if it's just that one box that's boned. So hopefully, well, not hopefully. Now that I know, thank you for that. I'll post pictures once it's all done.
I'll take a look at my dealer next time I'm there to see if because the brown one was the other way round, right? As in, like, the fabric needs like a 90-degree turn, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, if you look, this would be the horizontal way, right? So, but this is where they began I guess this way on the moss one, right? So that's where it differs with it. But this thing looks freaking hot on the wall, and so does the white dove gray.
Yeah.
I really like them, and actually, I was wondering how white that white is. It's fairly gray color, like a subdued gray color. I really like it. I don't like the black tiles, to be honest with you.
I love the moss green. That's my absolute favorite out of all.
Yeah. The reason why I don't like the black, you can see the grill. You can see the grill holes through when they're on the top of the shape. You could see the light come through on the sides. Mm. And me no like it. But it's funny because I was looking at these. There's these little rubber strips that come in that cover in between. I'm like, there's no way you could really see the wires. Sure as hell, if you sit there long enough and looking at it, which more or less that's what you do when you're listening to it, because you're staring at the direction of the sound. Yeah.
Could you show them side by side again? By the way, I'll make it a bit bigger and show what you mean by the veins are going to
different ways. Does that show?
Yeah. That should come out. One, yeah. The stream is just about to catch it. Yeah, it's almost weird because one is going up and down, and the other one is going left and right.
Yeah. And you know what? It's not bothersome when you're just holding it, but when it's on the wall and the patterns are going a little to the sides, it really gets on your nerve, right? Especially when you have suffering
OCD like you.
It is not good. But I do like it. I hope, and I know it's gonna work. I just can't wait for it to turn on and hear it in my own house, because I'm sure it's definitely gonna bury the fours, because that's what's playing in there right now. Oh fudge! But quite honestly, it's like it's almost a waste for a CBC radio and 660 News that I listen to every morning through a freaking through a 4-style speaker system. But then again, there's nights when you just stay in bed and listen to tunes. Now I have a reason to, because they sound good. Yeah. But yeah, like you see the pattern growing there. I really liked how it was, how simple, man. Like there's a lot of thought, and it's very rigid. Like to pick it all up, all those, I guess, I had 10 tile mesh, because that's how you put it on the wall, and you think, okay, is this good enough? And you move one here, move one there, and I went specifically for the widest, as wide as I can get away with, just for the sake of the soundstage, right? Because I don't know, some people put them, they make this weird tile shape, and I'm like, well, how the heck is that a stereo, man? Like, you put 2 rows of tiles up, like that is not gonna play anything really.
No, you should have to go like that. Stereo, like, left, right.
Yeah, like, is that for when you're laying in the bed? Well, then you're laying on one ear anyways. What the hell is the difference, right? Like, you're not gonna hear it. So
that's some powerful mono, though.
You could definitely use those as speaker tiles on the ceiling as well. Because I was wondering, how does this mount and whatnot? Man, that is solid as rock. You could definitely do that. Like, I would do it if I owned this place. I would tile my ceiling with those.
I saw a picture of like a store or something that had a whole ceiling full of them, like 30 or 40 tiles or something, in this gray and pink pattern, I think, for the whole ceiling. So it looked quite nice.
I think it would look cool, man.
Yeah.
But what I like about this also, when you look at them from the side profile, they're very remnant of the good old BeoLab 5000s and 3000s. Like that plastic, how it all is, it really communicates that. The one thing that is absolutely messed up about the shape is each tile, when you look at it from the sides, like see, it's basically an alteration between high and low points.
Yeah.
So when it's on the wall and you're laying down, the low point here, right, because it goes into the wall, makes the shape look like it's out of level. Like it's total mindfuck. But the line where all the rest of them are tiled on top of one another, right, because those lines are straight, it looks perfect. But on the bottoms and tops, it looks like the whole shape is basically running away. It's running away this way, like from
again with the OCD.
It's like shrinking itself, or it's coming down towards the angles. It's really, really weird effect. But I know it's leveled, right? Because I've leveled it. I freaking had a laser level on it because I figured, I want to make sure because I can't live with myself if it's off by like just a hair. And
you need to learn how to meditate at some point.
So I made it as accurate as it is, but they definitely are. They're definitely interesting. So I'm waiting for the rest of them to come in to see if the grain is the same. I'm happy with it because then it does look interesting. But if it's only two that are aft and the other ones are going the other way, then I'm gonna be a little pissed about the end result. So yeah, then I hung all the speakers and went to get some speaker cable, which I was surprised that they went with such thin gauge because I used 18 gauge, 18.4 wire
for speaker cable.
For speaker cable, yeah. Like those terminals are very, very, very thin, and they're very unique. Like the Molex connectors. I'm a fan of Molex connectors, of some, right? What I hate about the Molex connector, they're the utter bitch to remove out of a board, especially with B&Os, because they use about 7 different types of connectors, and some of them, like, you have to have like a freaking, I don't know, the Lord of the Rings golem's nail or some just to get under the fucking thing, right? Just for the love of God. But even if you have the proper tools, which I do, sometimes it's just like, oh my God, am I gonna pull this out with a solder? Because they are just, oh, there's another locking pin on it. So the ones that these come with are push pins, which depends on, like, I didn't buy like a super thick cable or pliable, but it's still an 18 gauge speaker wire, so it's gonna fight you back a little bit. And I found that it's a little bit of a bitch to deal with, to push the connectors in with the speaker wires. I don't know if it's just my luck with the cable that I ended up with, or people just get pre-terminated for that reason. But I wasn't happy with that particularly. So I need to tin the ends on all the wires again before I do it, because they start to fray out. Mm-hmm. So I think I probably even went with too thick of a cable even. But they don't really say what, other than the pre-terminated ones. And well, what is that? Like, I'm not going to run a freaking Cat 6 or Cat 7 wire thin, like, I can't do 22 gauge or 24 gauge. That's too little, right? So as it sits right now, I'm going to put 2 more tiles where there's those 2 speakers, one beside another. Yeah. On the left-hand side, I'm going to put 1 more tile up above the damper and 1 more tile up above the center speaker. So then there's 4 tiles going and 4 tiles going. And those are going to be brown and green. And that's when I was like, well, the patterns are messed, right? Because if you put the green further out, then it's not that big of a deal because it doesn't visually tie in. It's still a different color. And the grain is, it doesn't really matter that much. But, and yeah, then there's the rest of it with the core coming up, which got lost in shipping for love of God. So I'm very excited to hear it play.
So could you, like, technically then I don't know, connect your Beosound 9000 to it and just test drive them, I guess? Or do you need the core?
I don't need the core because the amplifier by default is in a slave mode. But I would not know, or I don't know if it would actually turn on well, it would turn on left and right, but I think it would sound messed up because the left or the right speaker is in the center as well, right? And then the two left ones and beside one another. So that algorithm wouldn't really work unless I would turn off speaker 1 and speaker 3 and speaker 4, and then just run them as a conventional left and right, more or less, right? But you know what? Screw it. It's gonna be this week, hopefully, that the core comes in, and I want to hear it in its full glory, as it should be, not half-assing it with. So yeah, there you go. There's a good picture of how the grains are running.
Is the core then the first thing you don't have a double of?
No, I sold mine, dumbass. That's what I did, and I had a couple of them. I sold the last one as an utter emergency to a client, and I just ordered a couple more, and I get a couple more coming. You gotta have a couple, man. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. That's how I live my life.
Yeah. Anyway, try and turn the brown ones clockwise. Is what I see in chat.
I have turned them every single way, even inside out, dude. And they do not line up, no matter which way. But this is the picture that is in the window right now is posted. This is the one that I emailed B&O directly with the question. I'm like, are these supposed to run this way? Because you can tell that one tip starts off with vertical and the other one starts with horizontal, right?
Yeah.
So, and that was the question. But if it's done on purpose, because they are not like they are running perfectly aligned, right? But in a different direction of a tile. So I think that it should be fine. Once I get the other ones, I'll be able to live with it because there will be a continuity into it afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a link into this too.
Yeah. Yeah, they really look good.
I really like the shape. It's one of the few products that I'm very satisfied with how it turns out. Lately, I guess, with B&O. What else is there that is new, really? Beosound 1 and Beosound 2. I don't really count the 35 as a groundbreaker because that was more or less a mistake.com than anything. But when it comes to other speakers, what do you have? 17s? They've been around for a little bit, Yeah. They got gray hairs on the beard.
Yeah.
So do the 18s and 19s.
Yeah, all of them came out in 2014 or something, right?
Yeah, so we're 4 years on. And it's not like we have to pump speakers out every 2 weeks. But that's nice with all the different colors. Mm-hmm. But I think that there is time due, in my opinion, to update, maybe even make the 17s make them smaller or make little different design, something, right? There's nothing that replaces Lab 4s that is, smaller white.
Yeah.
Or 3s, let alone that. Yeah, that's a better point than the 4s because 4s, they're good, but they're not as good.
I like the design of the. Do you remember the BeoPlay S3?
Yeah.
Oh, the S3s. Yeah, those were not bad speakers actually. I never owned them there, but I've heard them.
If those are the same kinds of hexagons, like the shape sort of is a bit.
Yeah, and almost a penta
shape, right? Which is the same as the Lab 19, is what they essentially. I think it was just inherited from the sub because they came out afterwards.
Yeah, and I like the design of them. So if they just managed to put them as a Beolab 40 speakers or something, and managed to get the sound quality a little bit better, then I think that could be a good replacement for the 4. But
yeah, because the S3s are actually they're on the Herman Miller's website. If you go to like the cabinets and whatever, they're sitting on just one of those like the splash screenshots. The S3 is sitting on one of the cabinets, which is funny because it's such an ordained object that you don't really pay attention to it. But people that know what B&O is definitely like, oh look, it's the B&O speaker.
The system I'm showing is all custom, by the way, by the guy that will do my Eclipse cover.
Yeah, because those bright colors.
Tiles.
Yeah,
I love the tiles, man.
And at some point, I'll have most likely pictures of it hanging up on the wall, and I'll show those as well. I mean, everything he's willing to show me or send to me, I'll show because I think this looks great, specifically the white.
Yeah,
that's what
Bauhaus
style to it. I really like that. Yeah, it's really Bauhaus. The whites with the black would look sweet, and the red tiles. Definitely. Definitely. All right, on. Yeah, Christian, do it up. I want to see what you got going on. That I think that the Shape it's a game changer, more or less in the commercial and architectural world than in like a lot of those posts that you see on Instagram that are floating about is off of installations that are in commercial places.
But Eric, if you were to buy a Shape, would you actually also have it in all white?
It would be. I mean, it depends. If I should put
Stuttering now.
Yeah, because you have that many options with the colors, and you want it to stick out with the able. But I don't know if I can manage it to no.
Dude, the way that the Shape happens is once you start putting it on the wall, everything that you have wasted your time on internet with goes out the window.
Yeah,
because it's now in the house.
Go like, way too crazy with it. I will end up with like 40 tires or something. Just not to control myself.
Well, I started with 8, got 10, and ended up with 12.
Yeah.
I mean, 8 almost seems like the absolute minimum you should have.
Yeah, I think so too.
They are basically.
And then it still sort of looks weird because you have to sort of string it to get any sort of stereo effect.
Yeah, and that's why I went with more tiles, because once I put it in here, I'm like, well, this looks stupid. It's just, because it looks like an unfinished molecule, really, right? It's just like, there should be more shit attached to this here. So, and that's how I ended up with it.
You said something. Yeah, you can do it as, molecules and...
Yeah, and especially with these colors where you can actually do, like, if you're into chemistry, I guess you can make it, look
I like chemistry, yeah, so it would be cool.
Carbon.
But what you have there about carbon dioxide, yeah.
Don't do carbon because they'll tax you for it in Canada.
Well, actually, maybe I could ask if that guy that does all the custom work, if he could literally have like the dash with the acronyms of the molecules it's supposed to be in.
What's it called? Sulfur hexafluoride. That was.
In the atoms, like the CHOO.
Yeah.
Oh, to make it, yeah. But the Shape is cool. I'm wondering how much better it sounds with more speakers. Because you can really make it happen.
Yeah, my dealer told me when they demo it on the Beo, he was very surprised about, I think it was like 40 tiles or something for speakers. And I was very surprised that it was very good sound, but the price on that one is the same on the Beosound 50s, and well, it's not that amount of sound. So
no, he probably has like 20 speakers in there.
Yeah,
I mean, you really have to commit then.
Yeah, but I think it's great for like commercial buildings or stores and restaurants and stuff.
That definitely is.
Yeah.
I just wonder how you would do it in the restaurant setting. Because I don't think that at that point, even if you're driving it with the core, I don't think it would make sense to do it with an algorithm band on the wall. I think that at that point, you just run them as a power link daisy chain, like regular speakers.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because
there's a picture of one restaurant. They have one special solution of sound in that restaurant, and that is in the middle of the restaurant. There is a big, pole that holds the ceiling up, and on each side they have the two BLI 5s shooting 180 degrees. Yeah, so that's one way to figure it out. So
wow,
yeah,
that's ballsy move to put BLI 5s in a restaurant. Damn.
Yeah, think of sitting close to them. So
oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
but
I think I found a picture I was looking for the other day. Well, you'll have it in like 12 seconds again. But they went nuts at Quadrat with the Beosound Shape. And it's a massive system. It's, is it 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
oh, yeah.
10, 11, 12, 13. So it's 65 tiles.
Wow. That's a lot of work to put together.
Yeah.
Now that I know, like, it's a simple install. or simple installation process, but to put it together, it took quite some time. Oh yeah, that one, I saw that one, and I wonder how many speaker tiles are in it, essentially. That's what I would want to know. Because I don't think it's a full system.
No.
I think that is more or less built as an absolutely that, but I think it has a purpose of acoustic dampening that big ass hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
it's
they
also
probably
every color they make.
Yeah.
Of course, and they probably set and the repeats of them too. But they probably set maybe a few speakers into it. I can't see it not having any, but yeah, that's large. I think I've seen that somewhere. That's been around for quite some time now, as far as that.
I think that was at the launch of it, or when it went public anyway.
Mm-hmm. I love the modularity of it, because if you get tired of it, you can just swap the grills. And now
so it's not clipped together in a specific way. You can just literally move it
around.
around.
Oh hell no! You can move them around. I just pulled them off for the podcast.
Oh no, sorry, I meant the back, the plastic you put in the wall. I knew that came off quite easily.
Oh yeah, but no, the plastic. Well, there's 6 screw holes. You should only use 3. I used 6 because I didn't go with anchors and shit and just went to the drywall. They hold them perfectly. And then the way that you attach the speakers or tiles per se, regardless of what it holds, there's a little hook and that just hooks on it. And then you have also 6 screws. In the install video, because I watched it after I put mine together, they only use 3 screws. Well, I used 6 because I just don't want to have any vibration or whatever, if there is any likelihood of.
Well, your wall probably vibrates before the speakers do.
Oh, for sure it would, man. It's made out of freaking aluminum studs, right? Or whatever the metal studs are. It's nothing. So
I hope it's at least half-inch plasterboard, not
it is half-inch, yeah.
Not the 3/4 and 3/8. That's
no. That would be just paper. Yeah. But it holds. It works so far. I haven't listened to it yet, but it does. There's no vibration to it. It's solid as rock on the wall, and I just can't wait to hear it. And I'll probably add more tiles over time. Not speaker tiles, but just to add the shape to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Christian just said there were 24 speakers in that setup by Quadrat.
Holy cow!
That's a lot.
That'll fill a room. It also costs you an arm and a leg, but that's besides the point.
6 amps. Well, there's still 5 more they could have put in there, and 44 tiles of speakers. I wonder who would put that. Like, where would you even have an application of 44 speaker tiles?
Trump Tower.
I guess
some Saudi Arabian palace or something.
Man, that would take a long time to install. Holy shit. Yeah, that would definitely. Wow. That's a lot of speaker, man. I'm speechless. That's a lot of speaker for Quadrat.
So they, how do they sell the speaker bits? Was it 1,500 for 2 speakers and an amp, right? Roughly.
Okay, so the amp comes separate.
Yeah.
It's a separate box. It's a thinner box. Speakers come packed as 2. Dampers come packed at 2, and so do the speaker grills. Or sorry, the amplifier comes with an extra tile, which is the core fits into. So it's still 2 tiles. So the only thing that came different. No, all the amps. The amp and the core were in as one box, and then a pair of dampers was one box, and a pair of grills was one box.
So,
and then I got
I'm thinking
connectors.
24 speakers, that's what does that
12
come to?
boxes.
Yeah, but that comes to like over 30 grand, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, no, it's an expensive ass system, that's for sure.
Yeah, I told you that.
That's a lot of money on the wall. That is a lot of money on the wall for sure.
I mean,
then the BL50 is a better choice, I think.
Well, the one that I'm at right now would be retail, I think, almost at $5,500, if not $6,000 Canadian.
Yeah, that's almost the same as the BLab 18s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But this would have, I think, well, I can't really judge because I haven't heard them yet. But I'm sure that Well, I'm gonna do an A to B comparison because I will bring my 17s into the bedroom and give them a listen, and then I'll put the shape up and give it a listen as well with the same tracks and see how they. I don't even care for the imaging of it because that's not the point of it, but just the regular, I guess, the volume output. That's what I'm interested in because they're saying that the 4 speaker tiles are 1.5 time of a Beolab 17.
Yeah.
So.
I got I got a picture from Christian and how he's lined up the ones, and I'm just Anyway, I'm sharing it live now, just in case.
It's 12 o'clock. Cheers.
YouTube should catch up any time now for you guys.
Oh, there we go.
Is this your private or your own private whatever system, Christian? I mean, I like the design. I mean, it's how to line up the. I'll send it to you as well. I mean, it's probably because it's encoded and encoded again. Maybe I can.
No, I like that he's got the arrows, but yeah, I get exactly what he's saying with the quadrat as far as the directional pattern of them.
Maybe this. Oh, this is his personal shape. Yeah, it looks good. I like that color. I like that color more than I thought when I first saw it.
Which color is this?
I forget what it's called actually, because I only ever bothered to look up the moss green. Because that's still my favorite.
Want that one.
But it's.
Is it the quadrat as well?
Yeah. So it's 2 quadrat.
Oh, that's the pink. That's a pink quadrat, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know what the name for it is. It's
almost looks like sand.
Yeah.
I think we call it pink in there. I don't know, Christian. While you're in there, can you type it in there for us? Make it clear. But yeah, no, I like that fabric looks good. I wonder honestly if it does have any effect acoustically, I guess negatively on the sound or not, because obviously.
I was telling you last week, I think after the show, that it does on the Eclipse. I mean, what's it, the guy that does the custom covers? I asked him about Quadrat, and he said he did one, so it is possible to do it, and he got some Quadrat, and apparently in the Eclipse the bass got so trapped, like everything started to rattle, and he got it back after 2 weeks to redo it in something else.
Which almost makes sense because the speaker in the Eclipse is so close to the cloth, where in the Shape, I think you have almost 3-4 centimeters, if not more, of space of air volume between the speaker driver and the actual fabric. Yeah. So there's way more air displacement, I think, as well.
Maybe it was marketing talk at the time, or maybe we did it off. We just thought it was. But when they released the aluminium cover for the Eclipse, they did say that they had to drill the bigger holes at the bottom of the cover to let the air out for the bass.
Yeah.
That's why the top holes are smaller and go gradually larger when they go down. It's a funky look, and I like it. But maybe it actually was because the bass is that powerful, it moves that much air, and Quadrat is maybe too tightly woven that it just sort of becomes somewhat of a parachute, I guess.
The bass is more powerful than the Eclipse and the Avant, and sounds much better.
Yeah.
Much more tighter, yeah.
Well, after all, it has 3-4 inch drivers.
Yeah, but they have a separate subwoofer on the Avant in the back, but it was so much plastic or something around it, so on the volume 50 or something, and it started to rattle.
Yeah, it's almost. But
it also depends on what revision of the Avant you had, because they have addressed the rattling with supplementing extra foam paddings on the back panels. Because I've noticed that at the first, like when we first got the Avant in the store in 2014, it freaking rattled.
Yeah,
I got mine in, and the magnets were all messed up. Like
15.
Not that it was messed up. It wasn't. It was not hashed out all the way. It wasn't. It was a early production model, I would call it. This was my Eclipse, I guess. But later on, and the last ones that I've sold, I've noticed significantly more foaming around certain touch points, and those are solid as rock, man. They don't rattle at all. So It also depends on generations, I guess. But they were using a 5.5-inch Coscone driver, I believe it was, or 5 3/4, which was basically the borrowed driver from the BeoLab 12. So I guess how much can you actually extrude the cone also was how much play you had in there on the Avant.
Yeah.
I've heard the Eclipse on its own. It does sound good on the lower values, but I found that it also rattles the grill.
Much better than some other TVs, but if you compare the Avant to the Eclipse wins, I think. The bass and the tightness is much better.
Anyway, I got Christian's whole system, and I must say it looks terrific. I really like this. I like the colors. Well done.
There we go. Yeah, I like it. So you got a lot of white dove gray, I guess, hey, Christian?
Yeah.
There is.
And I like the two black ones to sort of separate the greenish gray color from the rest.
But are the top ones different colors to the...
Top ones are the Quadrat pink, I think.
Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming. And then there's the Brazilian clay, I believe, is below. And then there's black, and I think the white dove gray on the bottom. Correct me if I'm wrong, even though the lighting, you say it's bad. It's not bad at all. I actually like how I like the lighting because it pronounces the cube. Yeah, I like the lighting because it pronounces the cube in it. That shape is so interesting. The way that the light breaks on it, it never looks the same.
But if nothing else, like whoever has their living room / listening room or whatever in like light photography mode, other than to take pictures. I mean, you wouldn't live in a place where you can take optimal pictures.
No.
At least I wouldn't.
You want the coasty lighting.
Oh, the black is actually Parisian blue, he said.
Oh.
So it's not as black, but it looks very black here.
Yeah.
I think if the light came from the camera view, then...
But that's actually... that's extra cool in my opinion, because that means during like bright daytime, you actually have a different color.
Yeah.
Yes. Bastard, I should have ordered the fucking Parisian instead of my black. So, question for you, Christian. Can you see through the... Like, my problem with the black grills is that you can see through the... Well, like, obviously, where you have light, you would be able to see through the grates. Can you or not? Because it doesn't look like the Parisian blue is letting that light through.
Yeah, so, maybe Parisian blue is just a bit thicker as well.
That's what I'm thinking, because the black fabric is very, very thin. Like, it's very thin. Here, give me a second.
I mean, I really like this setup.
Yeah. I like the emptiness between almost the top part and the bottom.
I mean, it almost seems to me like the light you see to the right is in the corner. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, put your face in front of it and you almost see it. Oh, yeah, almost.
Yeah, sort of goes side. Oh, yeah. You see your hand through it.
Yeah, very see-through. Very thin.
So that's what I'm having a pet peeve about a little bit. That it's little too thin. Here, maybe.
Same problem with the white cloth that I always have on the speakers. You can see through it.
Yeah.
Like my BeoFaves and the 9s I had before.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking, the benefit of this one is that I can stick a freaking link eye behind it, maybe tape off that goofy ass green light, so then I can actually control it with IR. Because that is my biggest problem or an issue that I need to get resolved, or I want to get resolved. That's the reason why I put the shape up, so I can get it at the moment now, since the core has an IR ability.
Yeah, you can use your beer time again.
Yes, but now that I have brought this up, I actually spoke with ET Technical on Instagram as well, and he was saying that they are that introducing a link eye into the core is now buzzing the speakers. In the
typical.
Core. So I think what it is, it's
fix one problem, another problem.
Oh, fuck. And I think what it is, it could be the grounding issue, which used to be also what back in the day. I remember it was a Playmaker that did the same thing when you had the wires a little bit weird. But I'm not saying that the cables that they have is wrong. I think it's more or less that inside the board.
Yeah.
My luck, I think, would be, and I don't know what their setup is because I think their setup includes 2 amplifiers. And I don't know how it's fed actually, or how they're feeding their core. But from what I've seen on the install, you don't really utilize the power link cables because you go optical output from the core into the amplifier, call it amplifier, the master amp, and then all the rest of them are slaves. So the amp that actually controls everything is the first one, and that one has all the filters built in it for the whatever you put in from the app calculation, the algorithm, and then the rest of the guys just slave off of him. So I don't know if that buzz is introduced by the IR cable being put into the core.
I wouldn't be surprised because the little link I would need some power, right?
Well, that's what I'm thinking, because the DPL, which is a hybrid IR port now, I forget which pin number, I think it's 3 or 4 that is pulling the 5 volts. And I don't know, because there's 5 cables in the pinout of the link eye. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what I don't know how it's buzzing, because I can understand how it does it. Like I've heard it before, and it's basically when the data information leaks into the power link, and you can get like and that's basically every time you do a volume up, it just like it talks, right, and you can hear it. You can hear it thinking.
Yeah. Anyway, Christian said, by the way, that his blue is not as transparent as the black.
Son of a bastard, I should have ordered the blue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna order blue. Because, yeah, that
since this is a shape episode, you'll see something in 12 seconds again.
Right on. It's in the mail. See, now I begin to actually not wonder anymore why it takes so long for North American shipping. Because everything comes so fast within everywhere else in the world. Yeah. And everything comes so late, and including our flipping bandwidth. It's probably screened by CRTC, what we're talking about. That's why they're holding us back 12 seconds.
Well, actually, in Germany it would be.
There we go.
I don't know how I feel about that green one. Is it green?
No, it's yellow.
Green?
Yellow, red, sort of salmon and blue.
Well, I guess it would be like lemon green or yellow green. I don't know what you would call it. I like the blue. Blue is cool. Very Lego. And
the red is not super... It's more subdued. It's not like, I don't know, Ferrari red or anything. It's a bit...
No, it's not Lego red or clear red.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be the Lego clay red or whatever the heck it is, the darker one. I like it. I like those colors.
I mean, was second picture. I flipped it around. You'll see in a second. But with the different light angle, the yellow is much more yellow. You should be able to see it about now or so.
It's going to be in about an hour or so. But I honestly, I'm probably going to do something about these black grills and get rid of them.
Yeah, change them for the Parisian blue.
Have them. Well, I'm gonna trade them for the. Well, I'm not gonna trade them. I'm just gonna get them. Maybe I'll send them to the guy and get some funky color on it. Get some multicam.
Mikey, can you Google the BLAD 9 blue?
Sure.
The picture, to get some picture of it, because that one
was it the original Bang & Olufsen or a custom
yeah, I think
one I showed
was.
You last week?
I think Willie can judge if it was the blue.
What am I?
He shipped them to the ones I'm showing. He shipped them to a store in the UK, and he'll get pictures on the wall soon, hopefully.